How about a warm hand for our governor, Governor Phil Murphy. Governor, welcome to Essex County.
Honored to be here.
Most importantly, welcome from Newark, New Jersey, the place where I was born and raised.
Yeah.
All right? But also for New Jersey. You know, we have a saying in Essex County, and I've done it for the last, putting Essex County first. I could tell you, Governor Murphy, in less than 2 years, has put the students first of New Jersey first, which he has accomplished in a short period of time, speaks for itself. You know, about expanding pre-K, about fully funding school funding, about improving the STEM education, about free college, and now, of course, they're planning for higher education for the next 4 years. You know, Governor Murphy cannot do it alone, of course, we all know that. No one could do it alone. He has a great team. He has a great Commissioner of Education, Lamont, who's done an excellent job. And, of course, Secretary of Higher Education, who you'll be hearing from. I'm just excited about what's going on here, not only in the state, not only in Essex County, but here in Newark. We have a great school system where we're all dealing together and working together. But we're also very, very proud of this university right here. I am a little upset, though, that Rutgers did not make the NCAA. Maybe the president said maybe next year. I heard that before, President. But listen, this is a great university. President Bob Barachi has one of the best teams in the state of New Jersey. So at this time, I'd like to introduce the president to come forward and to say a few words. And thank you for having this press conference here, Bob.
Thank you very much, Joe. And I must say that the basketball team is coming along. I would say next year is going to be a breakout year. I do want to remind you, though, we had 2 wrestlers win national championships this week. And if you look at our women's basketball and our lacrosse and our wrestling team and a bunch of others, we're competing at the very highest level. The other ones will come along. Give it a little time. But I do want to welcome you all to Rutgers Newark. This is part of our Rutgers University system, as you know, and is the anchor institution in this great city. And part of Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. We have about 530,000 students in higher education in the state. 70,000 of them are enrolled at Rutgers. So we are critically and deeply engaged in the higher education system and what our secretary is going to be talking to you about today. I'm just standing in for Chancellor Nancy Cantor, who is the Chancellor of Rutgers Newark and would certainly be here if she weren't representing Rutgers out of the country. I believe she's just on her way back now. Done a fantastic job here with the city and with bringing the city and the state together here. I'm really glad to welcome Governor Murphy and Secretary Smith Ellis back to Rutgers. Governor, you've been to Rutgers so many times in the past year and a half or so. I guess you're at least halfway along to a degree. And I'm pretty sure that we can give you job-related experiential learning credit. So we can make it happen for you. We're excited to host you and the vision that you're putting forward here. We're also very grateful for what the governor and the folks in Trenton have been doing for higher education and for Rutgers, increasing funding for the tuition aid grants, the Educational Opportunity Fund, setting aside money for cancer research and for violence research related to guns, providing special funding for the NJ STEP program, which educates our incarcerated men and women and giving them a chance to pursue a college degree. But we also recognize that there's much more to do. Building a world-class higher education system for New Jersey, one that really does feed 21st century job creation across the state, takes much more. It takes determination, teamwork, it takes perseverance, and it recognizes the importance of training citizens for the civil democracy that we have in this state, training innovators who are going to lead the new businesses of our state, training the workers who are going to drive those businesses forward. And all of that involves higher education. It doesn't involve any one institution. In order to get that done, as you'll hear from the Secretary, we have to look at access and opportunity. That doesn't mean just access to a 4-year degree leading to a bachelor's degree or a BS. It means other kinds of education post-secondary. We have to make it affordable. We have to make it accessible. We have to make sure that everyone knows how to get there. And more importantly, we have to make sure that students complete it. It doesn't do any good to get students into our institutions and not get them out the other end. Now, we at Rutgers really understand how the power of a strategic plan. We've been driving one forward for the past 5 years. And I must say that we are really, really looking forward to the next statewide plan. The last one, if you recall, was the plan for higher education that led to the establishment of the Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences and the integration of our universities. And now we're looking at Governor Murphy's vision and plan for an opportunity to transform the higher education system in the state. And we at Rutgers are really eager to work with the governor and his secretary to expand the vision you're going to hear today into a strategic plan that's actionable with specific goals, defined initiatives, and clear outcome measures, and more importantly, a timeline for implementation. So we are looking forward to joining with Governor Murphy and Secretary Smith Ellis and all the leaders of higher education across the state. It can't be done by an isolated group. This is something that everybody has to work on and buy into, but it's a huge opportunity for us. Now, it's my opportunity to turn the podium over to someone who I know will underscore the importance of higher education and introduce to you a member of the Rutgers Newark student body. I'm going to let him tell his story because it's such a compelling one, and I don't want to tip his hand. Suffice it to say that he's a brilliant example of why programs like the Educational Opportunity Fund are in place and why they work. They create pathways that bring hope to young people of great promise, both here at Rutgers and across the state. So we're proud to have him at Rutgers. Please welcome from our senior class at Rutgers University Newark, accounting and finance major, John Anthony Arroyo. John? There he is.
Oh, give me a second. Thank you, President Barchi. Good morning, everyone. My name is John Anthony Arroyo. I'm a double major in accounting and finance, and I'm one of the core members of EOF Males, a support network for young men admitted. EOF Males is a support network for young men admitted through the Educational Opportunity Fund program. I am also the charter president of the Eta Gamma chapter of Chi Alpha Epsilon, a national honor society for college students admitted through non-traditional programs like EOF and student support services. I want to welcome Governor Murphy and Secretary of Higher Education, Zakiya, and thank them for choosing Rutgers University Newark for this event. We are very honored. Thank you, Governor Murphy, for making higher education a priority. Without efforts like this to promote higher education and make it more available to everyone, students like myself would be stranded, unsure of where they want to go in life. To illustrate how important higher education and programs like EOF are, I will tell you a short story of a student from Paterson, New Jersey. This student was a bright little kid. He was on the honor roll and high honor roll, was in gifted and talented programs up until the 6th grade. But in middle school, the student was lost. He thought his chances were slim and stopped trying his best. He went on to high school where things only got worse. The student skipped half of his high school career, failed freshman year English, and ranked consistently in the bottom third of his class. Education wasn't a priority. He had more immediate worries at home, with a newborn baby sister and a struggling mom. He didn't think he'd go to college. He thought he'd work at the same factory as his mother or be a barber. He already cut his friend's hair to make some extra money. Worst case scenario, he could join the gang his older cousins were a part of. Luckily, the student was encouraged to apply to college by his counselor, a decision that changed his life forever. The counselor told the student about EOF. She told him that they wanted students like him. He was admitted, and now he stands in front of you today. Too often, hope is a luxury that students don't have, but EOF and programs like it can change that. You see, EOF has enabled me to make a complete 180. Through EOF, I learned that I can get ahead. It has taught me to believe in myself and not fear that I will become another statistic. Programs like this allow students to learn that they can be successful, that they become professionals. Now, I know I can achieve my goal of becoming a financial advisor, particularly working with the Latino American community and helping my population better understand financial literacy. Knowing that Governor Murphy prioritizes higher education gives me hope that the kids growing up right now can learn how kids like me had a chance. That they will learn they also have a fighting chance to make it, go to college, and be successful. With that, let me introduce our governor, Phil Murphy.
Wow. I just said to John Anthony, my only problem this morning is I have to follow him. Holy mackerel. More on you in a minute, my friend. Good morning. What a thrill it is to be here in Newark and at Rutgers. To County Executive Joe DiVincenzo, thank you, Joe, for your support, your friendship, and for hosting us so graciously. To President Dr. Bob Barchi, thank you for your leadership at Rutgers and in higher education in the state, and thank you both for welcoming us today. And to John Anthony Arroyo, thank you for that extraordinary story, and what a great story you have, and what a terrific role model you are. And I also thank you for choosing to continue your education, by the way, right here in the great state of New Jersey. John Anthony is a senior, but he's going to do senior year twice and come out here with 2 degrees, a joint degree, and this guy's going to slay it. So whatever you do, keep it up. And to all the students who are here today and beyond at this, by the way, the most diverse institution of higher education in the United States of America. Thank you for continuing to choosing to continue your education and create your futures here in New Jersey. We have an extraordinary group of folks here today, obviously led by the folks up on stage with me, but I'm looking at this front row. It's murderer's row here. Senator Sandra Cunningham is with us. God bless you, Senator. Assemblywoman Ileana Pinto-Marin is in the house. Assemblywoman Myla Jacey, welcome. Each of whom are leaders in education generally and in higher education. Thank you. Many members of our cabinet are here today. Adjutant General Jamal Beal is in the house. Jamal, thank you. The big man has joined the band. Commissioner of Education, Dr. Lamont Repillette is with us. The Chief Executive of New Jersey's Economic Development Authority, Tim Sullivan, is in the house. Essex County Chief of Staff, Juventus fan Phil Elijah is in the house with us. Labor leaders and faculty members, Donna Chiera from the AFT, Professor David Hughes, my dear friend, Professor Carl Van Horn, and so many other members of faculty and staff. We have some extraordinary working groups that will be announced by Zakiya in a few minutes, and a lot of the leaders of those working groups are sitting to my right. I want to give a particular shout out to New Jersey Higher Ed Student Assistant Authority boss David Sokolow. David, great to have you with us. And again, I see your smiling face, Harvey, and others over there. Zakiya will go through our chairs of these extraordinary chairs of these working groups. Our goal is to keep more of our young people here in New Jersey so they can be a part of our state's future. And I've said it many times over the past few years, I'm tired of New Jersey's leading export being our college-bound high school seniors. But it's more than just keeping our students here for their studies. It's also about igniting an innovation and growing economy that has a place for them after they graduate. and creating a state with strong and vibrant communities where they can live and raise their own families. This future requires creating stronger connections between our higher education system and the real economy. This is about creating a state that works for our students, our communities, and our tomorrow. Today, I am incredibly proud to be up here with the Secretary of the Office of Higher Education, Dr. Zakiya Smith Ellis. Yeah. To announce a new and comprehensive and importantly, only in the nation, student-focused higher education state plan for the state of New Jersey. We were on the phone this morning, and we had tried to do this about a month ago, and it was snowed out. As you know, I'm in charge of weather in New Jersey. And I was in my car looking out the window on a beautiful, bright, chilly, sunny day in late March in New Jersey. I said, Zakiya, I know one thing today, we ain't going to get snowed out. We are entering this discussion in a strong position. We already boast one of our nation's best educated workforces, with 48% of working-age residents holding a college degree and another 3% with a non-degree credential. And we have the fourth highest percentage in the country of millennials who hold college degrees. But we need to do more and to reach higher. There is no reason we cannot achieve our goal of 65% of all working-age New Jerseyans holding a high-quality credential or degree by the year 2025. That's the so-called 65 by 25 plan that we are committed to. We're not the only state to have a standard, or rather a statewide higher education plan, but ours does set us apart from our peer states. This is a student-driven plan. This is not an institution-driven plan. This is a plan created through direct engagement with and listening to the needs of our students, to their needs of accessibility and affordability, to their need for better information when making decisions regarding where to go to school, including the real costs, to their need for supportive campuses and faculty and staff, to their need for experiential learning that will earn them credits outside the classroom. And Bob, I appreciate your giving me that opportunity as governor, and to guide them into a career, to their need for having a real voice in the decisions that impact their life on campus and as a member of our larger New Jersey community and family. That is what we call a Student Bill of Rights. We also call it the path forward for higher education in the state of New Jersey. Across our state, more than 500,000 New Jerseyans are pursuing a degree at one of 78 institutions of higher education, public and private, 2-year schools and 4-year schools, full-time and part-time, at community colleges and at international research universities. Now we will unite them all together under one plan that fully integrates higher education into our goal for creating an innovation-driven economy. And to help bring about the outcomes we envision, I signed an executive order this morning to establish the working groups this plan recommends to put all the pieces of this blueprint together into a true plan for action. And Zakiya will give you a little bit more color on the working groups and their leadership. Our goal is nothing short of reclaiming our state's mantle as the global leader in innovation. And I firmly believe that everyone can find their place in that economy. With this plan, we can open the doors of opportunity for them.
Lives of literally thousands of students across this state. And beyond the EOF program, the history of higher education in the state is really interesting. And so just give me a minute, and I would dare I say it's actually kind of innovative. It's a history of listening to the needs of our residents and responding with bold action. In 1966, the president of Princeton University at the time, Robert Goheen, actually chaired a citizens committee for higher education made up of leaders from business, academia, and the community. Their report changed the course for a new, renewed commitment to state higher education. Now, we're a long way from 1966. A lot has changed since then for the state, for the nation, and for colleges. We are more diverse, we have more students attending college, and more of them are from families for whom college was never a possibility. But we're again at a time when we need to draw on our collective strength and act boldly to change the trajectory for students in our state. And we're here today to announce a plan that does just that. So after hearing from thousands of students, faculty, and staff, after hearing from community leaders as well as business and industry executives, after talking with teachers and parents, and I even talked to some of the college presidents, we have a collective vision that will allow us to focus on the needs of students. Let me be clear, though. The plan provides both that vision and a roadmap for getting there. So anybody who's ever worked on a group project, and the students here know what I'm talking about, knows just how difficult it is to get everybody on the same page. But what we heard from all of you was truly valuable, and the vision that emerged from those conversations represents the historic spirit of New Jersey that values both innovation and opportunity. And in fact, continuing our state's tradition of innovation depends on our ability to expand personal opportunity. We know that our students are talented and driven to succeed. We know that our institutions are strong and our leaders recognize the value of higher education for economic growth. And now it's time to combine our strengths and set a new vision, and that is that every student, regardless of life circumstances, should have the opportunity to obtain a high-quality credential that prepares them for life after college. Now, getting a college degree has never been more essential, but it's also never been more expensive. Recent data just released in the past few months show that access to college is still stubbornly segregated amongst the haves and the have-nots. Students from low and middle-income families wonder whether college will continue to be worth it for them, given the increasing levels of debt required to get a degree. And year after year, our state's leaders struggle to meet the rising student demand with the appropriate resources, knowing that if they don't, students and families will be the ones to pick up the bill. On top of our concerns about affordability, students and their parents wonder about whether a college degree will still be enough to help them get a good job. They want to make sure they'll not only be able to pay off their student debt, but also live fulfilling lives. Business and industry leaders want to make sure that college graduates will be able to meet the demands of the constantly evolving world of work. And we're all concerned about ensuring that academic programs remain high quality but flexible enough to keep up with the future of work, whatever that may be. So our college leaders, I think, recognize these issues, and over the past several years, they have embarked on a number of creative and promising programs to help their students succeed. Our challenge really is in ensuring these programs don't remain islands of innovation and quality. How do we ensure that a single dad living in Camden, going back to school after years of working, and a child from Newark seeing the possibilities of college for the first time, can both obtain a high-quality, affordable education that prepares them for success in the next phase of their lives? How do we ensure that girl who's coding in downtown Patterson or the budding scientist from Cape May both understand that the pathways to an apprenticeship or a degree are not mutually exclusive? And how do we do all of this while building on the strengths of our institutions without creating inefficient duplication of efforts? We do it by advancing a student bill of rights that outlines exactly what students who go to college in the state of New Jersey need and deserve from their post-secondary programs in 10 important ways. That vision starts with acknowledging that access to college begins long before students ever set foot on campus. Students as early as middle school need to learn about college and to start thinking about careers. In high school, students need opportunities to engage with contextualized college-level coursework, whether through dual enrollment, through P-TECH, the Governor's School, or models like the Modern States Educational Alliance. They need to understand that college isn't just the 13th grade. It's a step toward a career, and there are multiple pathways to those careers. Beyond academic preparation, students also need clear and comprehensible financial information that explains the cost not just in the current year, but in terms of their likely payment at graduation. No student should be shocked when their first monthly loan bill arrives in the mail, and every student should have an understanding of their likely job prospects before enrolling in a program. But clarifying the cost isn't enough if the costs are more than what people can pay. That's why we need programs that are actually affordable. and all the student aid in the world, and I love student aid, we know that, it won't be enough if the underlying tuition is too high. To this end, the governor has made an important commitment to affordability in his tuition-free community college program, and we have to deepen that commitment so that no student is worried about how they will pay for their term bill. Unfortunately, even though we spend a lot on student aid, we're still the fourth most expensive state in the country for students to get a bachelor's degree, and that just has to change. Research shows that programs that make a clear commitment, not just how much aid they will get, but actually to the bottom line, how much are you going to pay, those are the ones that are most effective. And that's why we want to work together with our colleges to have more of what Nancy Cantor is doing at Rutgers, Newark, and other colleges are doing throughout the state. We just heard at William Patterson they're making another commitment, and it happens at Rutgers, the other campuses as well. But the RUN to the Top initiative makes a clear commitment to students about what they will pay. And we have to do that for every single student, period, full stop. Okay. We have to also acknowledge that affordability is about more than just tuition and fees. It's also about books, supplies, rent, food, and even childcare. Too many students are actually going hungry in our state and across the nation, and if you're hungry, you cannot focus on school. That's why we partner with our Commissioner of Human Services to expand SNAP for community college students. Yes. Those kinds of supports help students make it through the day, and we need more of them. But getting into school is just the first step. Once enrolled, every student should have an experiential learning opportunity, whether that's a paid internship, an apprenticeship, or a co-op opportunity. No student should graduate without a chance to work in the field related to their studies. And likewise, every student needs supportive faculty and staff, people who have the time, the skills, and the resources to pour into them and invest in their academic progress. We can't take the vital role of faculty for granted. Research from Gallup actually suggests that contact with a supportive faculty member is linked to improving students' chances of obtaining their degrees. Speaking of graduation, too few students actually make it to the finish line. This is of particular concern to our students of color, our first-generation college students, and our students from disadvantaged backgrounds. Only about half of Black and Latino students end up graduating with a bachelor's degree within 6 years. We have to do better. We've got to make sure it's a priority for every single student to get it to the finish line. No student starts college thinking that they're not going to finish. And students are paying the bill whether they graduate or not. Debt without a degree is one of the worst circumstances to find yourself in. You've got the student loan to pay, but you have no degree to help you repay it. And we just can't put students in that situation anymore. So one thing that helps with that is the ability to earn credit for prior learning that occurs outside of the classroom. For instance, students should be able to get credit for what they are learning in the military, on the job, or in an apprenticeship. And that credit should transfer easily between institutions. But let's also remember that not every factor that determines success is found within the course catalog. Students need to also feel safe and welcome on campus. There's a growing concern about students' physical safety as well as their sense of belonging. National political rhetoric calls into question our longstanding American values of diversity and inclusion. New Jersey is one of the most diverse states in the nation, and all students should feel welcome at their institutions. So, of course, college leaders also have to think about preparing students beyond commencement day. Students need programs that are relevant and effective at preparing them for success in work and in life more generally. And last, but probably more important than everything else I've said here, it's important that students be heard. We can be as well-meaning and well-informed as possible as policy leaders, but there's no substitute for direct engagement of students. Students should have a seat at the table where decisions are made that shape their education and that impact their lives. So collectively, when implemented, this vision for a Student Bill of Rights will set New Jersey apart. This vision will give us a bold statement to share with families who are thinking about sending their students to college outside of the state. And it will give some people a reason maybe to consider New Jersey for college. Most of all, it should serve to reassure both young people and working adults that the promise of higher education is still alive and strong in New Jersey. Achieving this vision will require us to collaborate for a higher purpose, and the role each of us play is vital in making this a reality. That's why we have immediate actions for the state, for institutions, and even a role for students to play. There's a bunch of things that we don't need to wait to implement, and we want, first of all institutions to commit to the principles embodied in this state plan. We're holding ourselves accountable by committing to publish an annual report on our progress. I know Senator Cunningham will be asking us about how we're doing and getting there. And we're also going to move forward in greater transparency of institutional outcomes in terms of graduation and transfer. You'll see more on that from my office in the coming months. We're also asking institutions to commit to greater transparency in the near term in college affordability by committing to use the financial aid shopping sheet to make that bottom line for students clearer. And as a state, we're beginning to reform the way we fund colleges and universities to focus on completion and closing equity gaps. So those are just some of the immediate actions outlined in the plan. There are a variety of other steps that we can and all should take right now. I encourage you all to read the plan in detail and look at those action items and to share with us your thoughts on how we can partner in implementing them. My office is actually working with the Governor's Office of Innovation to get public feedback and comments on those next steps. And just as the Governor mentioned, he's tasked us with staffing a set of working groups to get moving on the longer-term action items right away. These working groups are split up into 5 areas aligned with the Vision for a Student Bill of Rights, and will be chaired by members of our higher education community. And I want to introduce them to you now. The first group will be focused on creating on-ramps to college and will be chaired by President Donald Borden of Camden County College. Thank you, Don. And Laura Overdeck of the Overdeck Family Foundation. These are two champions of ensuring access to high-quality college experiences for students. The second group will be focused on making college affordable and will be chaired by my friends who couldn't make it here today, Nancy Cantor and Ali Hushman. Nancy is, yes, clap for them in absentia, yes. As you heard, Nancy is chancellor of this great institution, Rutgers, Newark, and Ali is president of Rowan University in Glassboro. All right, Rowan, okay. Came up, it was a long drive this morning, I know, yeah. Both were committed to affordability and lowering the bottom line net price faced by students. The third group will be looking at student success and will be chaired by Harvey Kesselman of Stockton University and Reginald Lewis of the Newark City of Learning Collaborative. Harvey is a former EOF director and sends me articles about the latest and greatest in college, helping college students succeed to this day. And Reginald is a partner right here in Newark on the ground, working to improve the educational pipeline for students, and I know he'll have a lot to share with us as well. The fourth group is going to zero in on ensuring safe and supportive learning environments. This group will be chaired by Sarah McMahon of Rutgers, thank you, and Maggie McMiniman of Union County College. Is Maggie here? There she is, all right. Both of whom are fierce advocates for student safety and belonging. And the last group is going to be focused on research, talent, and innovation. And we'll be working to ensure that our institutions lead the way in research commercialization, strengthening our faculty, and connecting to workforce needs. This group will be chaired by Joel Bloom, president of NJIT, and Debbie Hart, yes, NJIT, and Debbie Hart, CEO of BioNJ. There you are, Debbie, yes. So as you can hopefully see by now, this plan really represents the beginning of the next phase for higher education in New Jersey. I'm excited about partnering with all of you on the work ahead, and I'm looking forward to that next step. We have a real opportunity to harness that innovative spirit of New Jersey with a bold vision that puts students first. The governor laid the framework for that vision with his plan for a stronger and fairer New Jersey economy that works for all. I believe the vision we've announced today is a plan for education that is both stronger and fairer. It's stronger because our state's economy thrives on a highly educated workforce. It's stronger because research and development fuels innovation and industry in the Garden State. And it's stronger because of the economic impact that colleges have on their local economy. And it's fairer because we want that opportunity that comes from higher education to be available to every single individual in the state that seeks it. New Jersey is the state of innovation, and higher education should be where opportunity meets innovation. Thank you.
Awesome job. Thank you, Zakiya. I think our brothers and sisters in the press know this. We're going to take a quick break and reconvene in a room, I think, right behind me. I want to thank Joe, to you and your team for hosting us, President Bob Barchi, to you, to all the leaders of higher education. I can't barely see here, but I think Susan Cole from Montclair State is right in second row. And other leaders, including leaders of these extraordinary working groups. Zakiya, I want to thank you and fellow members of our cabinet, an extraordinary unveiling of an extraordinary plan. To the senior legislators who are with us today, thank you. To our union leadership, thank you. To the faculty members, staff, concerned citizens, faith leaders, and most importantly, John Anthony, to you and every single one of the students in this hall and in this state. Thank you all. Take care, everybody.